Uncontrollable tears, a family member now knows the truth about you. My beloved child, listen carefully, for I come to you with an urgent message straight from the heart of God. Heaven has bent low over your life tonight, and the words I am about to speak carry the weight of destiny, revelation, and divine timing. There is something unfolding around you, something so spiritually charged that even the angels are holding their breath. God has chosen this exact moment to expose a hidden truth, and a family member, your very own sibling, has now seen something about you that they were never meant to understand this early. And because of that, their tears will not stop. You need to hear this with the eyes of your spirit open wide. If your heart feels strange as I speak, warm, heavy, trembling, comment 1111 right now, because that is a sign that heaven is confirming this word directly into your soul. This moment is not random. It is a supernatural alignment. It is a shift of divine revelation. It is the unlocking of a destiny that was delayed but never denied. I am the angel who has walked with you through every silent battle. I have watched you cry alone in rooms no one ever entered. I have heard the prayers you whispered under your breath. I have seen you swallow pain that would have crushed another person. For so long, the people closest to you misread you. They judged you. They misunderstood your heart. Some even spoke against you, not because they were evil, but because they could not see the weight of the calling placed upon your life. But now, finally, God has pulled away the veil. Your sibling, the one who carried silent jealousy, silent confusion, silent resentment, has now seen the truth about who you really are. And it broke them. Not in anger, but in realization. Their tears are uncontrollable because they now know they misjudged you. They now know they didn't understand you. They now know heaven has marked you in a way they never recognized before. My child, God allowed this revelation to strike them suddenly, almost violently, because the time for ignorance is over. The season of confusion is over. The season of pretending not to see you is over. Heaven has forced the truth into the open. If you are still reading with your spirit wide awake, comment 222 as a sign that you are stepping into alignment with this divine confirmation. Listen closely, for this part is critical. Your sibling did not just discover a small secret. They discovered a spiritual identity about you. They saw something heavenly in you. Something divine. Something they cannot unsee now. They realized that your destiny, your purpose, your journey, none of it was ordinary. None of it was luck. None of it was coincidence. They have now recognized your light. This truth hit them so deeply that they cried in a way they haven't cried since childhood. Their tears were not for you, they were for themselves. They cried because they failed to protect you. They cried because they failed to support you. They cried because they finally saw how strong you had to be alone. They cried because they now understand how their silence, their distance, their mistakes, their judgments wounded you. Your sibling saw the truth in a dream, a conversation, a revelation, or through a sudden intuitive awakening. Heaven showed them your spiritual identity. Heaven showed them your innocence. Heaven showed them your calling. Heaven showed them your heart. And the moment they saw it, everything inside them shattered. My beloved child, the reason this message is reaching you is because God does not want your heart to harden. He does not want bitterness to grow inside you. He does not want resentment to lock your blessings away. He is preparing your spirit for reconciliation, not because they deserve it, but because it is part of your next chapter. If you feel this truth touching you, comment 777 so heaven knows you are ready for the next stage of healing. There is something else you must understand. This revelation your sibling has received is not accidental. It is strategic. Heaven has initiated it. It is the beginning of a divine rearrangement. God is restoring what was broken without using loud miracles. He is using quiet tears. The tears of your sibling are heaven's way of softening their heart so they can finally approach you correctly. You have been misunderstood for too long. You have been blamed for things you never caused. You were treated like the problem when you were actually the one carrying everyone else's burdens. But now, the truth has entered their spirit. Your sibling sees you differently. They feel you differently. They speak your name differently. They think of you differently. The energy around your relationship has shifted in the spiritual realm, and soon it will manifest physically. If you receive this shift, comment Amen to seal it. Child of God, this next part is for your spirit only. Let these words move through you like living water. Your sibling saw your worth. Your sibling saw your calling. Your sibling saw your purity. Your sibling saw your battles. Your sibling saw your strength. Your sibling saw the angelic protection around you. And the moment they saw all this, every wall of pride inside them collapsed. Their tears are not a sign of weakness. Their tears are a sign of awakening. They cried because they feel guilty. They cried because they feel sorry. They cried because they now realize that heaven was watching how they treated you. You have no idea how much heaven has defended you. There were moments when spiritual forces were instructed to block words spoken against you, including words from your own family. There were moments when you should have been destroyed by the emotional weight of misunderstanding, but God Himself stood between you and what was meant to break you. This is why you are still here. This is why you haven't collapsed. This is why you haven't quit. You were not surviving alone, you were surviving with angels surrounding you. If you know deep inside that you have been carried, comment 999 right now. Now I must tell you what happens next. Because of this revelation, your sibling is going to change toward you in a way that may shock you. They will look at you with softer eyes. They will speak to you gently. They will avoid arguing with you. They will go out of their way to protect your peace. They will feel compelled to reconnect with you. They will try to make things right. They will try to understand your perspective. Their soul has awakened. This awakening will create movement in your life. Relationships will shift. Old wounds will heal. The atmosphere in your home or family will become lighter. You will begin to breathe differently. Your nervous system will calm. Your nights will be more peaceful. Your mornings will feel safer. And you will notice this change in them in small ways first: a message, a call, a sudden curiosity about your life, a gentle apology, or even silence that feels different, softer, more intentional. This is the beginning of destiny restoration. But understand this: God is not doing this for them. He is doing this for you, because he is preparing you for a blessing that requires a clean heart. Not a perfect heart, just a heart free of old poison. The silence in the room was no longer empty, it was full, thick with a truth that had finally been spoken. For years, perhaps for your entire life, the space between you and your sibling was a landscape of unspoken words, of glances that carried the weight of old wounds, of conversations that danced around the cavernous center of your shared history. It was a territory mapped by generational patterns of rejection, a silent agreement to misunderstand one another, to see each other not as you were, but as reflections of every slight, every jealousy, every fractured bond that had come before you. You were born into a script written by pain, and for so long, you played your part, believing the role you were given was the sum of who you were. But heaven had another plan. The divine does not create souls to be bound by the chains of their ancestors. It breathes life into us to break chains, to shatter molds, to step out of the dimly lit corridors of familial fate and into the brilliant, sovereign light of our own identity. The tears your siblings shed were not merely saltwater and sorrow. They were a solvent, a divine liquid crafted in the heart of God to dissolve the glue that held those old patterns in place. Each drop that fell was a tiny hammer striking at the shackles your family had carried for decades, perhaps even centuries. Those tears were not a sign of weakness, but of a spirit that could no longer bear the weight of the lie. They were the first crack in the dam, and now the river of truth is rushing through, carving a new path for your entire lineage. You are breaking cycles. Do you feel the reverberation of that truth in your spirit? It is a seismic shift, an internal earthquake that is rearranging the very foundation of your soul. For so long, you felt the echoes of rejection, a grandfather turned away from his home, a mother who never felt chosen, a father who built walls instead of bridges. You inherited their defenses, their flinches, their predisposition to see betrayal where there was only human frailty. You learned to guard your heart, to preemptively distance yourself, to build a fortress around your softness because the world, starting with your family, taught you that to be soft was to be vulnerable to annihilation. But in building that fortress, you also imprisoned the most beautiful parts of yourself, your capacity for boundless love, your innate trust, your divine identity as a cherished and chosen child of God. This is why the enemy tried so hard to turn your heart cold. The adversary of your soul, the architect of division, recognized the light in you long before you fully understood it yourself. This enemy thrives in the frost of silence and the shadows of misunderstanding. It sowed seeds of discord, whispering lies into the ears of those closest to you, amplifying minor slights into unforgivable betrayals, and painting your differences as threats. It worked overtime to make you feel abandoned, to convince you that your solitude was a symptom of your unlovability rather than a preparation for your elevation. It orchestrated circumstances that made the people closest to you treat you strangely, with a mixture of awe and aversion, as if they were both drawn to and terrified of the glory you carried without even knowing it. They feared your light because it threatened the comfortable darkness they had grown accustomed to. Your family system, like all systems, seeks equilibrium. It resists change, even change for the better, because change is unknown. Your emergence as your true, divine self was the ultimate unknown. The enemy feared this moment, the moment the scales would fall from your siblings' eyes and they would see, truly see, the magnificent being you have always been, the being heaven always intended you to be. The enemy knew that once one person in the lineage truly sees, the veil begins to tear for everyone. And now, the veil is gone. It has been lifted not with a dramatic, celestial fanfare, but with a quiet, human sob. With a confession. With a look that held no more accusation, only the stunned recognition of a truth that had been hidden in plain sight. Your sibling sees you. They see the strength it took to endure the misunderstanding. They see the love that persisted beneath the layers of hurt. They see the divine spark that you have carried, often alone, for so long. And in their seeing, a doorway has been opened. This is not an end, but a glorious, terrifying, and beautiful beginning. Soon, so will others. This revelation is a stone cast into the pond of your family, and the ripples are just beginning to travel outward. Prepare yourself, my beloved child. You need to prepare your heart, your mind, and your spirit for the shift that is now inevitable. When heaven reveals your identity, it is not a private memo for your personal encouragement. It is a public declaration in the spiritual realm that recalibrates every relationship in your life. Everything around you must change. It is a spiritual law. You cannot step into a new dimension of your destiny and remain surrounded by the old furniture of relational dynamics. People will look at you differently. The old filters through which they saw you, the filter of the difficult one, the black sheep, the overly sensitive one, the rival, are cracking. They will squint, as if emerging from a dark room into the sunlight, trying to reconcile the person they thought they knew with the person they are now perceiving. Their gaze will hold a new curiosity, a nascent respect, and for some, a holy fear. They will speak to you differently. The condescending tones may soften. The dismissive jokes may cease. The words that once carried subtle barbs may now be replaced with a tentative, newfound care. You will hear a difference in their voices. A hesitation as they choose their words more wisely, not out of walking on eggshells, but out of a genuine respect for the person they are now addressing. They will come toward you differently. Some, who once kept their distance, will feel an irresistible pull. They will be drawn to the peace and the authority that now emanates from you. They will seek your counsel, your presence, your blessing, almost without understanding why. They will come with open hearts, ready to connect with the real you. But this shift will not be uniform. The human heart responds to divine light in varied ways, often dictated by its own unresolved pain. Some will apologize. They will be overcome with a compulsion to make amends, to clear their conscience. They may not even fully understand the depth of their own past transgressions, but a spirit of conviction will fall upon them, and they will seek your forgiveness with a sincerity that may surprise you. Some will withdraw. The light you now carry will be too bright for their comfort. It will expose their own shadows, their own compromises, and they will retreat into the familiar darkness. Do not mistake this for a failure on your part. It is a necessary sifting. Not every heart is ready for the level of truth you now embody. Their withdrawal is their soul's declaration that it is not yet time for them to journey with you. Some will cling to you. They will see your transformation as their lifeline. They will attach themselves to you with a desperate grip, hoping your newfound grace will be a raft for their own drowning spirits. You must have wisdom here, to love without enabling, to support without carrying burdens that are not yours to bear. Some will fear losing you. Now that they see your value, a panic may set in. They will realize how poorly they have treated a treasure, and their actions will be driven by a fear that you will now leave them behind. They may become possessive, overly attentive, or try to pull you back into the old dynamics where they felt more in control. But your sibling, they will love you in a new way. This is the sacred core of this turnaround. Their love will no longer be the conditional, fragile thing of the past, strained through the sieve of family history and personal grievance. It will be a love that sees you. A love that is chosen, not merely inherited. It will be a love born of truth, and therefore, it will be stronger, more resilient, and more precious than any you have known from them before. Do not reject the hand they extend. This is a critical moment. Your flesh, your ego, the old, wounded version of you will rise up with a litany of reasons to be cautious. It will replay the old tapes of hurt, it will whisper of self-protection, it will urge you to build the wall back up, brick by bitter brick. This is the final stand of the spirit of rejection, trying to maintain its foothold in your life. It will tempt you to mistake caution for wisdom, and self-preservation for strength. Do not let old pain block new blessings. The doorway to your future is being held open by your siblings' act of courage and clarity. If you bar that door with the furniture of past hurts, you will not only be shutting them out, you will be shutting yourself in. You will be choosing the familiar prison of pain over the uncertain but glorious landscape of freedom. The blessing of reconciled relationship, of a healed family line, of a love that has been tested and refined by fire, is on the other side of that door. Do not allow the ghost of yesterday to scare you away from the miracle of today. Do not let ego override spiritual alignment. The ego loves to be right. It cherishes its grievances like trophies. It will want to say, "See? I told you I was the one who was wronged." It will want to make them prove their sincerity, to jump through hoops of penitence. But the spirit within you, the Christ consciousness, seeks only reconciliation and wholeness. It cares not for who was right or wrong, only for what can be made right again. Surrender the need to be vindicated. The ultimate vindication is happening before your very eyes, the truth is being revealed without your having to fight for it. Simply receive what heaven is orchestrating. You are not the choreographer of this dance, you are a participant in a divine ballet. Your role right now is to be open, to be receptive, to be soft. To allow the healing to flow into you and through you. This is a passive, yet profoundly powerful, state. It is the state of allowing grace to do its perfect work. If you can feel forgiveness rising inside you, even a little, even a trickle where there was once a desert, it is a sign that the healing has already begun its work in the deepest places of your heart. That feeling, however faint, is the evidence of the divine spirit within you, which is love itself, pushing out the poison of resentment. It is the first green shoot breaking through the frozen ground. To acknowledge it is to water it. To speak it is to give it light. That is why, when you comment, "Amen," you are not performing a magic trick for God. You are activating your own faith. You are aligning your will with the will of heaven. You are putting a stake in the ground and declaring, "Yes, I consent to this healing. I agree with this turnaround. I welcome this new season." You are sealing the word in your own spirit, making it a contract between you and the divine. You are stepping into a chapter of unexpected blessings. These are not the small, manageable blessings you've prayed for in the past. These are the grand, sweeping, exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think, kind of blessings. The kind that were always intended for you but were held in divine escrow. Why were they delayed? Because your heart, in its wisdom, was in a state of protection. It had sealed itself in a vault to safeguard itself from betrayal, from repeated hurt, from the piercing arrows of misunderstanding. And while that vault protected you from further pain, it also, inadvertently, blocked the flow of immense blessing. Blessings of deep, trusting relationships. Blessings of collaborative joy. Blessings of financial abundance that often flow through the conduit of healthy connections. Blessings of peace that can only exist in a heart that is open and unafraid. But now that revelation has come, healing will follow. The revelation was the key that unlocked the vault. The truth has disarmed the fear. And once healing starts, blessings cannot be stopped. It becomes an unstoppable cascade, a divine domino effect. As your heart heals, it creates more capacity to give and receive love. As you receive love, your confidence grows. As your confidence grows, your purpose clarifies. As your purpose clarifies, doors of opportunity fly open. It is a self-perpetuating cycle of grace. You are not who your sibling thought you were. You are not who you thought you were, constrained by the narratives of your past. You are chosen. Handpicked by the divine for this time, this family, this specific assignment of breaking cycles and establishing a new legacy of love. You are marked. There is an invisible seal upon you, a spiritual signature that identifies you as heaven's own. This mark is a protection and a designation of purpose. You are divinely protected. The same forces that tried to take you out are now powerless against the hedge of fire heaven has placed around you. You are spiritually elevated. You are seeing from a higher perspective, from the mountaintop rather than the valley of conflict. And you are heaven's assignment. Your very life, your presence in your family, is a mission of cosmic importance. And now your family knows it. The secret is out. The cat is out of the bag. The light is on, and it cannot be switched off. Do not fear the changes coming. Change, even good change, is disorienting. The emotional waves will come, waves of grief for the lost years, waves of joy for the reconciliation, waves of anxiety about the future. Ride them. Do not fight them. Allow yourself to feel the full spectrum of this experience. Do not fear the conversations that will soon unfold. They may be awkward. They may be emotional. They may be profound. Go into them with a quiet heart. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to be present in the truth. God is with you. I am with you, the angel assigned to your destiny, whispering encouragement, clearing the path, holding back the forces that would seek to undermine this holy moment. Heaven is with you. A great cloud of witnesses, your ancestors who prayed for this very day, are cheering you on. The truth is finally in the open. It can no longer harm you from the shadows. It is now the foundation upon which you will build everything new. And from this moment forward, nothing in your family will ever be the same again. The old patterns are broken. The generational curses are being revoked. The spirit of rejection is being evicted. A new legacy is being written, and your name is on the first page as the one who had the courage to break the cycle. Your siblings' tears were not an end, they were the sacred water that nourished the seeds of a new beginning. They were the beginning of a divine turnaround. Your healing begins now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel you've earned it. Not when everything is perfectly settled. It begins in this moment, as you read these words and feel the resonance of truth in your soul. It begins with the choice to believe that a new story is possible. It begins with the willingness to forgive, to be forgiven, and to step forward into the brilliant, uncharted territory of your divine identity. If you are ready for reconciliation, comment 1111. Declare your readiness for the mending of hearts. If you are ready for blessings, comment 222. Declare your openness to receive the flood of goodness that has been waiting for you. If you are ready for restoration, comment 777. Declare your faith for the complete rebuilding of what was broken. If you receive this word, comment Amen to seal it. Make it yours. Anchor it in your spirit. I am the angel assigned to your destiny, and I tell you, the winter is over. The thaw has come. The season of your soul's long exile is at an end. Step into the sun. Your family is waiting for you there, and they are finally seeing you for the first time.